Good afternoon. What we're going to do today is to show you how we make some icicles in glass. I know we've shown you icicles before, we've only shown you clear icicles. And believe it or not, Christmas is coming. These are really great coloured icicles. They'll be clear with a little tinge of blue, and also I've got some fantastic glass which we get hold of from Lauscha. Now this is, it's got orange and gold stone and the black lime running through it, so I put in. And it's coloured stripes with adventurine, and that's from Lauscha, which is a German glass. Brilliant for doing this with. So we're going to do this on the mana burner with one oxycon, and traditionally icicles will be boro, but just need to show you that you can obviously do this in soft glass as well. So we'll just get a nice softish flame. I'm going to clear the ends of the, we'll do the Lauscha adventurine glass first. So I'm just going to clear the ends off with a pair of tweezers. And these are a real classy Christmas icicle, rather than the ones we've done before, which is just a piece of clear glass that's flattened and twisted. These ones we make slightly different, and they just give a proper quality finish to them. So just turn that down a little bit more. And so this is around about 8mm diameter rod, and we're just going to join it together. You can start from the middle of the rod if you want, but you do get a lot of wastage that way. And without twisting the rod that much, we're just going to keep turning it and heating it and gently pushing it together. So what we're going to do is double the size of the rod. So we're going to start creating almost like an ingot or a pellet that's roughly in the sort of 12 to 15mm size bracket. So we're just building it up around about an inch in length as well. And this will give us an icicle that's going to be a good 8 to 9 inches long and really well made and strong, and got that quality look to it. So this is going to take a couple of seconds to build up. Just keep doing that. The only tools we're going to use in this is a pair of tweezers. Now you can obviously use normal stainless steel tweezers, or you can get away with using tungsten tweezers. I'll be using tungsten just to put a crease down it. And then we use a reamer as well, fine nose reamer, graphite or carbon reamer, and that's just to finish the loop off. But obviously you can use just normal tweezers for that as well if you just warm them. So like I say, I'm just turning the glass around, getting even heat all over the glass, and just gently pushing it together as I do this. And it's building up quite quickly, and that's the advantage of doing this in soft glass. And once you've mastered making the right shape and the right thickness of the icicle, and learning how to twist it and form this rope shape without getting too many thin areas to get a nice shape there, the world's your oyster. So the second one I'll show you is in clear glass. I put a little blue outline on, but obviously for Christmas you want to put red, really nice emerald green, even turquoise, and you get such a fantastic colour combination that you'd be selling in sets of 6 or 12, and they get a really good look, and when the fairy lights get on and behind the tree, they just look incredibly stunning. So as I said, building up to about 15-16mm diameter this little pellet, and then I'm just going to warm it all the way through, and then with the tungsten tweezers I'm going to crimp it in the middle. You might need to open your tweezers a little bit. Just crimp it down there, and then using the rod that I helped to build it up, I'm going to cold seal on, and then I'm going a little bit higher in the flame and just start to again warm the whole lozenger up, and then I can start to twist this in the flame, or you might have more control if you come out the flame when you need to and just let it cool slightly and then carry on twisting. So I'm turning with my left hand and I'm stopping it with my right hand. And obviously what I want is a nice thick end on the left hand side, and then as it starts to thin down to the right, going down to a fine point. And then just as it starts to achieve that twist, we're going to stretch this out as well. Now, you know, I'm thinking, you know, at the moment when I'm making this video, it's just towards the end of August, and you're thinking it's a little bit early for Christmas decorations. It isn't, I promise you. You're going to sell hundreds, if not thousands of these, and you really need to start now if you to have any chance of making the ones enough of the icicles that you need to make. And just remember to aim for a good length, 6 or 7 inches long, and really thin it down towards the very end, which just makes it easier to finish the icicle. And just nice and straighten it up. Keep turning it as it sets hard. And then we turn this around. And then go back to the top. So remember, when I do loops, I always tend to do them in 2 parts. And I tend to feel that by doing it in 2 halves, I put more strength into the loop and I have more control of how the loop looks. If you want to pull an exaggerated loop out and just loop it over and fuse it onto the other side of the icicle, it's absolutely fine. It's totally whatever you're comfortable with. But this is what I like doing. It just, to me, gives a finished look to the icicle. You know, and that's what I'm after. So again, just take your time outside the flame. Let the glass cool a little bit, so you're getting a good 2 to 3 millimeter thickness on the loop. And then using the little reamer, I've obviously made a hugely exaggerated loop, but I'm going to build in some strength by shrinking it back down now. And so it starts to get stronger and stronger, and then as it starts to shrink down in size, I can just stop it. And just use the reamer to get a perfectly round loop, make sure it's perfect on each view of it. And then using the reamer just to hold it, because that's got a little bit of heat in there and it won't crack the loop because it's graphite. I can just take it off at the bottom, let it cool for a split second so I'm not going to get any marks on the bottom, and then just for now I'll just bury those in cooling bubbles. Later on we'll go straight in the kiln. So then I'm going to go on to some 8 to 9mm Effitre clear. So I've got the fixed up. If you've only got 5mm, that's fine, it just takes a little bit longer to build up, but obviously this is quicker. And we do 15 to 16mm as well, which would be absolutely fantastic. Although with the 15mm, you might have to pre-warm it because it's going to be very, very shocky. So again, clean up the ends, cut the 2 ends off. And just like we did with the first one, I'm going to build up this pellet. What you find it will give you is a lot more control over the glass, and this helps you with like stringer control and stuff like that, because you're using the flame as another tool and just working out where to heat and where not to heat, and then using the flame to twist the glass, but also knowing when to come out of the flame and just let the cancel, cut and start again. And then knowing when to come out of the flame and using the residue heat within the glass again to let it cool on its own, and then be able to confidently be able to twist the glass without getting into vitrification or anything like that. So I've got the pellet built up now. I'm going to put 2 stripes down one stripe down each side, and this is Cobalt Blue, so it's a nice transparent blue but with a good depth of colour in it. And I'm just going to warm it up again and just make sure the blue melts in properly. And then again we're going to pinch it with the tweezers like we did with the first one. Again, a cold seal with the clear, and just start to melt evenly all over the pinched pellet, and just control the glass. And like I say, when you feel like you're losing control, come out the flame. Just ended up with rather a larger part at the top, so I'm just going to melt that down, and again use the flame, which you can see there, just to keep melting that down, and then just take a couple of seconds to make sure everything's nice and straight. And this is a great little gift to make, because really you've got no special tools. You've got a pair of tweezers and a graphite reamer. You can even get away, if you haven't got the reamer, you can get away with using a tungsten poker or even a stainless steel poker. So there's no real special tools to use. You're only working on a minor burner with a 5 litre oxycon. So again, there's no special torches or anything like that. And the biggest advantage is we're working with soft glass. And we'll just leave the glass outside the flame. If it's running away too far and the lute's becoming too thin, just take it out of the flame, let it cool, and then it'll just thicken up a little bit. So again, a way too big loop, another exaggerated loop, start to melt it back in. Just check it with the reamer, just round it over again, and then back into the flame one last time. And then just, with it being soft, sometimes the cold seal that you put on will crack off like it did there, but that's perfect. And then just pull it, heat in and pull this out to a pint. And then again, like I said, straight into the cooling balls.